So in today's adventure, we're going to check out one of the most unexpected places in Minnesota, maybe even the Midwest. We're going to take a look today at one of the largest collections in North America, and it's in this mall, the Maplewood Mall. All right, so for you guys who don't know me, I'm Kyle Watts. This is my second channel where we're going to focus more on adventures, film locations, film stuff, pretty much just anything I think is kind of cool. So it's a big snowy day in Minnesota today, so there's nothing better to do to go to this place, the place I've been wanting to go to now since it opened about a year ago, maybe a little longer than that. So today we're going to check out the Enchanted Fantasy Film Museum. Now these guys have one of the largest private collections of screen-used costumes, props, things like that, from all sorts of movies. You got Harry Potter, Watchmen, Once, Peter Pan, Lost World, Hook. I'm really looking forward to that one. Narnia. So we're gonna go check it out and see how cool this is. That's pretty cool. Right in the window here, they have the Handmaid's Tale outfits from the Serena and Emily. That's pretty rad. Hey. Sure am.
Welcome to Minnesota's first ever film museum. We house the nation's largest collection of film costumes in all of North America, which is pretty cool. We have over 350 costumes here for people to see from over 125 different movies and TV shows, from the Power Rangers to Baby Yoda and everything in between.
Cool, can't wait to go in.
Yeah.
So right up front here we have the Death of a Unicorn, the puppet here. This is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have seen this, it is definitely streaming still. If you haven't, that's pretty cool. Cool gift shop will come back out. Let's go on in. All right, so right here we got Queen Elizabeth's costume from The Crown. This is pretty cool, just having all of this right here in Minnesota. Very, very unexpected, because normally these kind of museums are, you know, in Hollywood or in London or something else. So this is really cool. Dorian Gray from the League. So Once Upon a Time, you can see this on Netflix. This is not a show that I'm super familiar with. I've seen it a couple times watching it with the wife. But yeah, this is very fun. Having just all of this right here is super cool. I've been to a few other places that have different costumes on display. We went to like the Harry Potter Museum in London, which was really cool. But this is just all private owned, right in the heart of Minnesota here in Maplewood, Minnesota. So right here is the prop that started it all. So it looks like this is William Swift, the owner's first prop that he got, and probably got the bug from there and started collecting more and more and more until it got to a point where he had to move out of his house and basically start a museum, because that's what happens when you have too many costumes and have no room for it inside your house. Here's Belle's costume. That's really cool. Now these are all screen used, none of these are replicas. Sometimes when they have screen used, pretty much every movie and TV show that have screen used stuff, they'll make, you know, multiple outfits for different scenarios, whether they're dirty, painted, relict, worn, A costumes, things like that. So, you know, who knows if these are the A costumes or different specific costumes for different scenes. Looks like Milan, that's cool. The detail on these are really cool. Just seeing these costumes up in person, sometimes you'll see costumes in person and they just don't look good. They look better on screen than they do off screen, because, you know, they weren't necessarily designed to be made to be worn daily or have like crazy detail. But well, then you get the other side of it where some costumes are just incredibly detailed. There's the Dark Swan, Jennifer Morrison's costume. Swan Scroll. There's the Blue Fairy again from Once. Captain Hook. So now, personally, my favorite Captain Hook is still always the Dustin Hoffman. I do actually have a replica of the Dustin Hoffman hook that I made, but this is still really cool to see in person. Over here we have Maleficent's screen-used cloak from Once Upon a Time. And the work on this is just really cool looking. Here's a few more screen-used props from Once. Looks like there's the storybook, the amulet, cup, all sorts of cool stuff. Elsa's necklace. It's a little write-up on the costume designer for Once Upon a Time. Oh, here's another Maleficent screen used. Wow. That is just super cool. Just to be able to own one of these would be so cool, but having an entire museum full of stuff like this is just insane. All right, X-Men Days of Future Past, Wolverine's Claws. I'm sure they had a handful of these props in this film, but this is really cool. Looks like here's the Mr. Freeze bust from Batman 3, I believe. No, this might be 4. It's the Batman Robin with Mr. Freeze, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, normally I would do an impression of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I can't do it, so we're not going to do it. All right, we got some Spiderwick Chronicles. Now, the guy who did these costumes also did like Back to the Future 3. That's about all I know that guy's work from. Some outfits from Watchmen. The Red Scare and Sister Night. All right, we got Will Smith's costume from Hancock. His costume actually looked kind of small. Like maybe Will Smith isn't that big of a guy. He kind of looks like he might be, but. So here's a couple costumes from American Gods. I'm actually not familiar with this. I'm gonna have to look this one up. But we got Shadow Moon. We got Laura Moon. There's a lot of cool people in this, so I definitely want to maybe look this one up and see what it's all about. So over here we have the Handmaid's Tale costumes. This is really interesting to see in person. So this is definitely going to be one of the more screen-worn ones. The one that's worn with, you know, different paints and things to make it look weathered. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna, you know, drive down the road a few miles and start seeing screen-used costumes from some of the craziest shows that's been around in the last few years. And over here you got Rita's dress from Handmaid's Tale. June's attire. And Serena's outfit. Man, these colors, you know, like normally when you film movies, they always have a lot of color grading going on. So you never really understand how punchy reds are, or greens or blues, or if the screen used ones are going to kind of match what you see on screen. These ones actually do pretty well, so it's kind of strange because I feel like this TV series has a lot of color grading in it. I kind of assumed that these wouldn't be as punchy as they are. This is pretty sweet. So these are all Umbrella Academy stuff here. We got Extraordinary Book. We got Love on Loan 2 from the last season. The Umbrella Effect. Some of the hand documents. The King Reg. One of the briefcases. That is really cool. Over here you have Kate Walsh's The Handler costume. Wow, this thing is very detailed. Like, look at all the like the dragon scales on the shoulders, like the snake skin alligators or the alligator skin jacket. Wow, look at this cool little brooch on the hat here. I don't even know if I noticed that in the show. Young Diego's costume. Lila's outfit. Right down to the Doc Martens. This has definitely been one of my favorite shows over the last few years. It was just very different, original. Kind of sad to see it go. Number 5's costume here. I wonder what season this one's actually from. If it's like season 1, I would have guessed. Oh, that's so cool. It's Vanya's costume. Wow, we just got like the whole collection here now. Got Luther's costume. Got Klaus's costume. Wow, that's really cool. It's got like the muscle padding underneath it. I wonder if that's part of the screenings too, or if that's something they added to the museum here. I love the like cult leader costume too. That's really sweet. Alright, so Lemony Snicket's a series of unfortunate events. This is the TV series, I believe, not the movie, not the one with Jim Carrey. Wow, this is really cool. So I got a lot of green in the black. That's awesome. Look at that hat. Got Count Olaf, Neil Patrick Harris. Imagine that's this one back in the back here. Some of the children's costumes. Josephine. Arthur and Eleanor Poe.
Some vagabond or a thief. It definitely comes and look at, especially when you get the place.
It's like the costume designer for this series was Cynthia Ann Summers. Looks like she's done lots of stuff like Goosebumps, Last of Us, Resident Alien, Babysitter's Club, Snowpiercer, Smallville. Things just goes on and on. Queen Mary from My Lady Jane. Another show that I'm not as familiar with. So when I get back home, I'm gonna have to check out a lot of these and kind of see some of the references of these. So looks like a huge collection of My Lady Jane costumes. Just look at the detail on some of this stuff. These are all kind of things you just don't necessarily see in the show when you're watching, just because you don't ever get a chance to focus on them. But when you get to see them in person, man, it is something else. I'm not gonna lie, the layout of this place is really cool. Lady Frances Gray. Alright, now we're moving into the room, the Serpent Queen. It's got a pretty large collection of these as well. The Great?
Marriage.
Peter the Third. You know, the funny thing is I actually was about to buy some swim trunks today that had that print on it.
He's vile.
That's funny.
He drinks, fights, gambles. He cavorts with women of ill repute. He's the last man I would ever marry. Jane.
Ellie Fanning's costume from The Great.
Come here often. My mother's forcing me to marry. Will you intervene?
Jane, I've already approved it.
Why would you ever approve my marriage without my consent?
Be logical. It is your duty to protect your family.
Wow.
Oops.
How's your response?
We're all born to certain roles. Our destiny is set. Was anyone ever told you the insufferable pageant?
These are so well made.
I come from amiability from Samantha.
Amiability is unique.
Amiability is the ethnic. Come with me.
You were the weirdest man I ever met.
Oh, the nice is young.
Here's another one of Catherine's war dress from Ellie Fanning.
That's the jacket question.
This one's got all the like blood spots on it.
Gathered here today to witness the joining of Lady Jane Grey and Lord Guildford
Peter III hunting coat.
in the sacred blessing of holy matrimony.
It's cool. You can kind of see the bird on the front. It looks like a pheasant maybe or something.
My wedded wife. To have and to hold from this day forward.
That is a really cool print.
If I know what marriage you'll catch it, we'll go though.
Fingers crossed.
Love the matching button detail on these too.
To apologise to my brokers, but now I see you're pilfering our wedding gifts.
Alright, over here we have Anne with an E. I started watching this. I don't remember if I finished it or not. I don't think I did. Just crazy thinking like owning a single one of these though, let alone like 500 different things in the guy's collection. And let's continue on through the fun little like maze here. We are now in Game of Thrones.
The people were just gonna take Peter. Gonna take Dudley, gonna take
This is definitely another one of those series where I started, got about a couple seasons in, and just haven't finished. So I definitely need to come back to this show.
Why should anyone follow us?
Wow, I have to imagine it's got to be pretty hard to get your hands on some of these Game of Thrones stuff.
With acting with Ian Glenn because he's been my pal.
Look at these dragon eggs.
My buddy.
Real mentor. He's just helped me. As if this is always a safe space.
We can have fun there. We can take advantage.
Now I'll say the big difference between modern costumes and a lot of the costumes from like the 80s is that the amount of detail has to be better on these things just because you're on 4K, 6K, 8K, and details really do matter. If you look at a lot of like sometimes screen use stuff from the 80s, 90s, they're usually kind of not great, but you know, good enough for screen.
This show, Game of
night is dark and full of terrors.
That's a really big deal. And these guys are taking care of me so much, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm really lucky I get to have it documented.
It's like Emilia Clarke's one of her main outfits. With some blood stains. The Bear and the Maiden Fair. I imagine one of the biggest things that's kind of hard and challenging about setting up a museum like this too is just getting the mannequins, the wigs, all the kind of things that go with the costumes too. Because I'm assuming a lot of these wigs are not screen used, but
What do you think so far?
it's insane.
Not bad for just one person.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I was just saying, some of the hardest parts about setting stuff up like this is just like wigs and all the other kind of stuff that go with it. I'm assuming a lot of the wigs are not obviously screen used, or
Not all of them. There's
Some of them might be?
that are,
Okay.
Yeah, like I have Thing 1 from Cant.
Okay.
I have his screen
Yeah.
wig. But, you know, sometimes the characters, their hair is so iconic that I try and...
yeah, or they make wigs for them already too, kind of, yeah. All right, so now we're entering the Vikings room here. I just had a cool discussion again with the owner of the place. He was kind of going over a lot of the in and outs of how he collected a lot of this stuff. It's pretty interesting to see how you can amass such a huge collection, and you know, obviously it's costs a lot of money. Definitely go into some debt at times, but having a museum like this is going to obviously help try to bring back some of that money so you can afford more new stuff. And it's also just fun to show it. I mean, it sucks to like acquire all this stuff and then just not show it to anyone. It's kind of lame. So, but yeah, this is the room. It looks like it's all the Vikings. It's another series that, once again, I started and just kind of never finished. So, I'm gonna have to go back for that. This one's really sweet. Hopefully, it's bright enough in here you can see this. But man, the detail work on this is absolutely insane. That is the coolest part about seeing this stuff in person, is the sheer detail they actually put in some of these costumes. And then the flip side of that, sometimes you see the lack of detail, but he did tell me actually that, you know, I was talking about the wigs. There are a handful of costumes in here that actually are the screen used wigs. I'm not exactly sure which ones they are. This is obviously not. But man, just see this cool, like, rings that are like sewn into the battle armor. You know, and if you guys are looking to make cosplays of this kind of stuff, this is a really cool opportunity to come get screen grabs, like really get to see stuff close, and kind of compare it to how you're building your own, if that's what you're doing. It's got a huge collection from Vikings here. Got the king and the princess. Astrid's dress. The queen. Ingrid's costume. Wow, this print is wild. Like, yeah, this fabric is super cool. Like, this design is awesome. Looks like at this museum, if you want to have a seat, watch some TV, you can do that, take off a load. All right, looks like this is from the show Spartacus. And clearly Jurassic Park must be coming up because I can hear the music. Oh my gosh, do they have something from Bright? Wow, this is one I haven't seen in a long time either. If you guys remember this movie Bright, looks like it's an orc mask. Wow, that's super cool. Welcome to Jurassic Park. But yet, right away, Avatar. Walk through the little Jurassic Park forest. Oh, we're coming up to the East Dock, you guys. Hold on to your butts. Your Jurassic Park helmet. When dinosaurs ruled the earth. So these are from The Lost World, which I believe was the second one in 1997. So I don't know if these were just like models used for references or if they were like in background. This is from Jurassic Park 3. Wow, the artwork on this is so cool. Not sure what's in the jar there, but maybe like an embryo or something. Holy cow. Would you look at this, you guys? It's from The Mummy. Still one of my favorite franchises ever. Hopefully they come out with the fourth. I think it'll be really cool. Wow. We got the mask from The Mask. Wow, I did not expect this to be here. Holy cow, this is a really cool prop. This is like literally the prop that made the movie. This is like the Holy Grail prop from The Mask. We got the spear from Night at the Museum. Now I think I remember seeing in video that they had the tablet also from this movie. It's possible that he's moved it back to auction, I'm not sure. Hopefully we run across it a little bit later. Over here we have the costume from Peter Pan from 2003. Wow, that is a really small costume. This is a costume designed by Janet Patterson, known for like Bright Star, Portrait of a Lady, Piano. Now he told me that they used to have Thudbutt's costume from Hook. I was really looking forward to seeing that, but that's also been moved to auction so we can acquire some different things. So we'll have to, come across something like that later down the road. I just really like how he's done this museum. Like, it's been very visually set up well. There's so much decorations in here. It's kind of a cool maze in here, so it's not just like white walls and costumes about. It really themed well. Especially when you look at the walls here with like the dinosaurs. You got all the like plants in here. Definitely makes it a more fun experience to walk around and see all the cool stuff. Holy cow, he's got some stuff from Dark Crystal. Wow. So we got to see some of these in New York when I went to the Museum of Moving Image in Astoria, New York. It's pretty rare to see these outside of a Jim Henson collection though. Wow, that's so cool. Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Oh wow, we got the Amazonian Queen Guard from Wonder Woman. I'd have to imagine getting some collections from stuff like Wonder Woman, that'd be pretty challenging as well. Most of the time these studios kind of hang on to the stuff and then sell it if they need to, but they keep their own collections nowadays. Austin Butler's costume here. Hercules. From Kevin Sorbo. Wow, Robin Hood's costume too. That's pretty cool. That's from the 2018 Robin Hood movie right there. Looks like they must have just acquired this from Men in Black. It's the worm puppet. That's really fun. Looks like, yeah, worm puppet. Sign coming. That's really sweet. Looks like some stuff from True Blood. Oh wow, look at this. It's Beetlejuice business card. And yes, that's how you spell Beetlejuice in the original. Wow, that's cool. Hey, my lucky coin. Kyle's lucky coin. You are being watched. Oh, I didn't even notice this, but this is the Everything Everywhere All at Once bagel from the scene. You'll recognize it from here. Huh. Never realized it was just a giant inflatable, like raft almost. Holy cow, he's actually got some of the costumes too. Oh, it's Keyquan's costume from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Fanny pack included. Wow, that's so cool. Evelyn's costume. Jamie Lee Curtis costume, that's fun. Huh. This movie was super cool. I was not expecting that one, and you know, it won awards for a good reason. Here's some of the armor for a horse in Warcraft. Now, I have to guess these are all like foam or some kind of EVA or plastic. It's possible the chainmail is probably real. So this one's the Angela Jolene Maleficent. So here's a series I haven't watched it all yet, and I'm gonna rectify that soon, but The Last Airbender, these look really cool in person.
I don't necessarily know if there's any of me in Hook really sort of
The School for Good and Evil, another one I'm not as familiar with. So yeah. Man, these are just such epic costumes. Ella Enchanted. It's got Anne Hathaway's dress. Vivica A. Fox. Wow, check this out. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory Wonka Bar. That is super cool. Of course, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, not the original one, the Johnny Depp version. Sometimes it's weird just, how do you even get your hands on a prop like one of the Wonka bars? That's so cool. Got some pretty epic costumes here from the Great Wall. I think it's an injustice to show this on camera and not seeing this in person. This is very bright and reflective in person. Matt Damon's armor. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this too. Over here we got Ken's beach costume from Barbie. That is pretty fun. probably one of the most rare things outside of the London Harry Potter Museum. Anything from Harry Potter. Most of the Potter collection stuff actually is either on Universal's hands, it's in some of the stores, it's in the film museums of Warner Brothers. Getting anything outside is pretty tough. Wow, that's really cool. We'll get around to the other front of that in a sec. Katniss from Catching Fire, Hunger Games. Looks like Peeta's costume as well too. His training outfit. This is from the Mike Myers Dr. Seuss, I believe, Sally outfit. And the Thing one. And he said that this is the also screen-used wig as well. Some Whoville from Grinch. Got young Mystique. I'd have to imagine wearing these outfits for long periods of time on set would have been not comfortable at all. Grogu. Dobby. I have seen a couple of these though, the Harry Potter acceptance letters. You got the wax seal on the back too, that's cool. Ron Weasley from Prisoner of Azkaban. The Nimbus 2000. Bunch of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. You had any of these guys actually in here at all?
What'd you say?
Has any of these guys actually been in here before?
I've actually had a stunt actor come in once, and he actually loaned out some of his costumes to me. But I haven't had anyone wear these guys. And that's what he meant. Enjoy your journey.
So let's just go check out this cabinet here. We are entering Narnia. These are definitely movies that I need to rewatch again because it's been, 20 years now? But just like she did, we walked through the cabinet into the snowy fields of Narnia. Fawn armor. Wow, that's so cool. I heard on one of the videos from someone else who came here that the Narnia was kind of this guy's main part of his collection here, kind of what started his whole obsession with continuing to get more and more. He said it was very influential on him as a child. Snowflake the Minotaur. Yeah, I really need to go back and watch this one because I am blanking on so much of these series again. Is this the wand of the White Witch? Wow, that's cool. It's like a 3-foot long wand that's like chrome to clear, like an icicle. Obviously, Tilda Swinton. It says the crown. I'm not seeing it, so maybe that's not here anymore. Oh, maybe it's right here. There's the crown of the White Witch. This is showing how they wore it. Some behind the scenes stuff on Narnia.
Well, it was when we went to the South Island to begin shooting the map.
If you're a big fan of Narnia, these mean probably a lot. 2005 film, so yeah, it's been 21 years since I pretty much remember seeing this, so. Lucy's costume. That is so cool. It's just kind of crazy how they all just end up in a private collector's hands, and now it's in a museum just in the kind of middle of Minnesota. Kind of very random, but when you have a passion for collecting movie props and movie costumes, you'll do what it takes to get collections like this and, you know, ultimately show them to the public, which is awesome. Wow, look at this little horn here. I didn't even see that. It also looks like the bow and arrow is most likely screen used as well. It's kind of dark in here, it's hard to see it. It definitely looks like the reference photo too, so. But that is cool. These are so interesting in person. It's a weird, interesting material. Almost looks like elephant skin. I think we have to exit back out the closet as well. Into the gift shop. Got some cool Narnia bags. Get some lamps, that's interesting. Lots of Narnia shirts. Some cool little bags here. Get some wands for Harry Potter. Look at this really cool Jim Henson bag right here. Dance, it's your birthday. A little random. A little Doug Funny. Over here we still have the ones that are in the window from Handmaid's Tale. I didn't notice this in the window. We'll have to check it on the way up, but this looks like another Umbrella Academy version too. Oh, it looks like this mall also has like a zoo in it. Yeah, there's like a zoo in here. That's wild. I guess that's maybe just what malls are coming to now, is they're putting in whatever they can to keep the malls going. So there's a zoo. Downstairs there's a film museum. Alright, so that's going to do it for today's adventure, you guys. It's been a really fun museum. I think that was one of the coolest collections I've ever seen in a long time. There's so much stuff in that guy's collection that I can understand why he needed to have a spot in the mall to basically use it as a museum, because it was a huge collection. In fact, he did say he has the largest collection in North America outside of like owned by a studio or something like that. So anyways, you guys, if you like this video, please follow along for more videos. And always, thanks again for watching. And if you want to tune in next time to see what's next, we'll catch you on the next one. Later. Man, I feel like I'm coming outside in Narnia as we speak. What the heck? I mean, this is Minnesota for you. It was literally like 60 degrees yesterday, and now it's snowing. That's just how this time of year works. Luckily, we're going to Mexico in like a week. We're gonna have like a 10-day adventure through there. So like I said, subscribe to the channel, follow along to see what's next.